Okay, there is so much happening, and I want to talk about so many different things, and I feel like I don't even have time. There's my child on the toilet, which they're playing Roblox or whatever it's called. How you get there? Okay, so I got her out of the out of the bathroom. So in the midst of all this, I just need to tell you, like, what is happening. One of the things that I just came upon, and this is really important because this talks about intuition a lot. I was going outside and I was walking, and it was before my kids were up, and I was like, oh, I should just go and go outside and go get the mail. And then I was like, immediately I thought, oh, no, that's a good thing for my kid to do, and he'll, just giving him another job because he needs jobs. And so I was like, as soon as I was about to walk out there, I almost stopped and I was like, no, I should let my kid do it. And I just kept on getting very neutrally, just go, just walk out there. There's some reason why I had to do it, not my kid. And so I was just like, all right, just trust it. Who cares? I'll just get him to do a different job. And all of a sudden I walked out there, and one of my neighbors, who I haven't talked to since I got back, who was really helpful. She happened to be right at my mailbox, and I was going to obviously get the mail. She happened to be right at the mailbox. So she kind of surprised me, which was, again, very well planned. Universe, high five. And she comes and she's like, oh, hey. And her first words out of her mouth was, hey, somebody told me that you were a medium or something. And she's just like, is that true? And so we got this whole conversation going, and it was really great. And it was just one of those kind of like very charmed situations of like, understanding, talking about like not just what I do, but my whole thing, what I always love to talk about with people is that what you do. And so then I happened to share it at the end. I was like, yeah, by the way, I was just like, the reason I'm out here is because of you. So it's not when psychics, I always say whenever you're in relation to a psychic, meaning if you're getting a reading or friends with them or whatever, it's not just about the psychic. It's like when I told her, I was like, oh, you're coming out here. This was a contract, a very universal contract. Contracts don't have to be a big deal. They could be literally, you're just getting gas, for your car. There's a million types of contracts all throughout the day. And so this was our way of connecting to our higher self. And then we got to talk about why intuition is so important, especially that it's the neutrality of it. So, oh, did you see that? I don't know if you saw that. There was something that just went flying in front of me. It's on minute 3. So 3 minute, timestamp. Anyway, so her just walking her dog, she happens to be exactly on my mailbox. I happen to be going out there, not my son, but me, because I'm listening. She's also listening. Her showing up, and the listening isn't in the mind. That's what we always forget. And she was talking about specifically how she does need to listen more. And so many times when she doesn't, it just doesn't pan out in her favor. It doesn't mean that lightning striking or anything like that. It just doesn't pan out in your favor as easily. So everything becomes very neutral. And if you recognize that when the information comes through, it is super neutral. It is not dependent on right and wrong. That's a very egoic model behavior. So don't even go into that place. This isn't protection. This isn't that you could do something wrong. You can't. It's literally impossible. But intuition is neutral. So the more it could come, the more you allow it to come by paying attention. That's the only thing. It doesn't really ask anything from you. It doesn't care. It's just up to you. So if you feel driven, like I did, I felt driven to go out to the mailbox, not my son for some reason. And I just listened to that and it was neutral. And then look what happened. So that's really it. There was some other thing. Last night, my husband, gross double hair. My husband, I couldn't remember something, and we were sitting on bed, and I was like, oh my God, this was something really important. I really need to remember it. And I just remembered it like around a half an hour ago, and I can't remember right now. And then he's just like, he all of a sudden looks at me, and he says, was it voting? it was just so out of blue. We haven't talked about that at all. Like, it was just so out of blue. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was exactly it. Yes. And I'm like, how did you know that? How did you get that? He's like, I just asked your guides. And I was like, wait a second, did you ask my guides or did you ask like the whole? He's like, well, yeah. He's like, I'm just talking about like more in general. He's like, I purely opened myself up. He's just like, to help you. He's like, all I wanted to do was help you. And I thought that was so beautiful. And I was just like, what if we did this, especially for others, of like, because I do this a lot. Like, if you ever forget something and you're around me, I do a specific thing that I do of helping you remember. Not for me, not being like, oh, I'm going to help you remember. It has nothing to do with me, but it has to do with you. And I help your energy, do this thing with your third eye, blah, blah, blah. But for him, what he did, and I thought this was so beautiful, and what I would suggest you guys doing is that he's just like, I just really opened to the space and I asked for, your guides, your spirit team, the holiness, whatever you align with, whatever that term is for you. And you just sit in there and just super open and let it come. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even letting it come. It's just super open, just make sure when you open, you always have like kind of like a filter, you could have a rose filter or stuff like that. And you just imagine it in your mind that nothing comes into your space. You read everything outside your space. That's really important. Okay. Because you're not opening up your space as being vulnerable. You're opening up your space as fully occupying your space. Okay. That's the difference. But I thought that was really beautiful. So definitely try that out. All right. Bye, you guys. Thanks for tuning in.